bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-da ba-ba-dum oh my goodness, look how fast, how quickly everyone is coming in. Hello, my friends. Hello, my mighties and folks on Facebook and folks on YouTube. And boy, we've got a lot tonight. This is really good. Hello, Bob Dunbar, Bob and Deb. Hi, Deb, too. Hello from Edmonds, Washington, and so good to see everyone. Hello, everyone. Hi, friends. Here we are, Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, as we do every single Monday night. My name is Joette Calabrese, and I do one thing and one thing only every Monday night at this time. If you don't know who I am, join in. We've got a great crowd, wonderful people here, people willing and interested in helping each other. And it's it's funny to read what you're all saying as I'm speaking. And for those who do know me, my friends, welcome. It's great to see you all. Alabama, Connecticut, Ajax, Ontario. There's Rona. You're here every single Monday night. Hi, Leanne from North Carolina coast, old friend. Hello to all for Western New York. Great to see you. California, Ohio, Maine, Orlando, Central New York, Fort Wayne, Indiana, St. Louis, Michigan. All righty, my friends, let's get to some questions. That's what we're going to do tonight, right? But I'm going to ask you a favor. I'm going to ask you to please share and comment and subscribe. I don't need you really to comment as much because you have such great questions, and that's really a way of commenting. But if you would like and share, it makes a difference. We have to get this information out there. The more we have doing this, the easier it is for all of us. We want our pharmacies to be rigorous, and we want them to be healthy and strong, and that means the stronger our community is, the stronger they become too. So we're on YouTube and X, Facebook, Rumble. I have to look at it. Of course, Mighty's Instagram. It's wonderful to see you all. All right, so let's get to some questions, shall we? All righty. Someone at Dental Abscess Protocol. Okay, already people are answering each other. Hello from Indiana. Does the same guideline apply to use what you have until you can get what you need apply here? Or should treating the condition wait until the exact potency is available? You're asking Dental Abscess Protocol. I would only use Heparself 6 if that's what you're asking. We do not use Heparself 30 or 200 for an abscess, for a dental abscess, because it can drive it in the wrong direction. So in that particular case, I would say no. I would wait until the exact potency is at hand. When it comes to a dental abscess, Heparself 6 is the one. How to treat claustrophobia and extreme anxiety while on a trip with wifey. I got so stressed. I got out of the car and took a train home. No fight, just claustrophobia and anxiety. Listen, there are a number of remedies for this. If you happen to have a repertory, you can look it up there, but an easier way, and for many people, is just to take my courses. I have a course called Mindful Homeopathy. You simply go to Joette's Learning Center. That's JOETTES Learning Center. And you will scroll down and go to the course called Mindful Homeopathy. We talk about exactly that. Now, if you don't want to go as far as taking a course, I understand. Go to my blog. Just go Joette Calabrese, Anxiety. Now, I don't believe I've ever written about claustrophobia, but it is of the same sort of sorts. we start with the medicines that are specific for anxiety. If they don't act, then we go more specifically. And that's what you would find in a repertory or in my course. Let's see. Heel spur. Did I talk about exostosis, a heel spur? I think I've written about heel spurs. I'm pretty sure I've written about it. You might want to check that. Joette Calabrese-实heel spur. What about torn meniscus? I've written about that on my blog as well. I know that for sure. Where to find info on homeopathy for my daughter's deliver her former pregnancies. She had preeclampsia and toxemia. What remedies are good for? So what we're talking about, these are not remedies that are good for something. I just want to clarify a little bit. These are not, and maybe you already know this, but just to be absolutely safe, homeopathy is not like supplements or vitamins. It's not good for it. It uproots it. It addresses the condition. And again, I have to tell you that those are conditions that are that definitely need medical care. But meanwhile, you can use homeopathy, and you would find that information, again, in Joette's Learning Center, and go to feminopathy. It's all about all the feminine conditions. Do cell salts cause aggravation? Yes, they can. Specifically, Kelly, self-causing hives to become more. Yes, absolutely they can. Any homeopathic medicine can cause an aggravation. Absolutely. I would call that, no, not an aggravation, however. I would call that approving, my friends. I would say that's the wrong medicine. It's either the wrong medicine, the wrong potency, or the wrong frequency. So I would just abort for a while, stay away from it, find a remedy that's specific for urticaria hives, and I've written about it, Joette Calabrese, urticaria, Joette Calabrese hives, and you'll find exactly the medicine. Yeah, okay. I didn't mean to, Richard, how to uproot. Do you ever update your old blogs if you find better or different protocols or remedies? Not really. I feel pretty confident about my remedies and my protocols. I'm pretty confident about it. It very rarely happens. However, I will tell you that years ago I was classical. And when I first started writing that blog, I was still in the classical modality. And so there were... I didn't use protocols. I made you go through it and figure it out and to be able to differentiate. What is, good, I'm so glad you like feminopathy. What is able to help with night blindness? I've seen hemamelis and arnica. Have you heard of this helping? Well, blindness is blindness. If you're talking about, look, we can be more, we can tear it apart and pull it apart and see if we can find blindness specifically that occurs at night. However, I would start with blindness. If we're talking about true blindness, then hemamelis and arnica can be useful. There are others also. Argentum nitricum, there are others. Any podcasts coming again? I miss those so much. Thanks, Sage. Yes, they are. We are starting. We've already started recording. Okay, replying to Graciela Rodriguez. Banerjee protocol. Somebody's helping someone else. That's great. Thank you. Blessings from Yorktown. Is the protocol for baldness the same as hair loss? You bet it is. Baldness, hair loss, hair fall, alopecia. They're all pretty much synonymous. Saskatchewan, hello. Metals and liquid remedies. I saw one live where you use a metallic thermos for your magfas. Yeah, I don't have a problem with, I don't think there's a problem with metals. And when you mix homeopathy in water and put it in. Safe to do protocols while breastfeeding? Let me just tell you, my friends, homeopathy is relatively safe. I'm not going to tell you it's perfectly safe. It's relatively safe. So in other words, if you use it incorrectly over and over and over, and you keep insisting on taking a medicine even though it is not correct, and you're thinking, well, this is just a little aggravation and I should get over it soon, and keep taking, yeah, you're going to cause trouble. So, but if you use these medicines as I teach them, when you see something's going awry after using a homeopathic medicine, you stop. Do not think about it must be aggravating and it's going to get better. It's not what I teach. Okay. Remedies for getting heavy metals out of the brain. I don't know what that means. what's the suffering? Is the brain locked up? Is the person confused? Is the person anxious? We go by the symptoms, not by a theory. I'm not saying that this person is not getting your naturopath or functional MD. I think it's a little theoretical. I would not go by that it must be heavy metals in the brain. I would go with what's happening. Memory loss, anxiety, attention deficit disorder. That's what we use, my friends. Not that there must be heavy metals in it. If one is using the Banerjee protocol for cataracts, how would they know if it was working? Because the cataracts back off. The vision is better. The cloudiness has improved. That's how we know. Let's see. Consider looking. Oh, people are helping each other. If someone we are working with doesn't have a spleen and you are told by her doctor they have to be on antibiotics the rest of their lives, is there any protocol or remedy that could be used as a prophylactic, as they wouldn't have to wreck their gut by using the drugs? I don't know that I'm going to answer that quite. I need to know a lot more about that. Okay. If during delivery and the contractions stop, what protocol is used for causing contractions to start up again? Feminopathy, my friend. Let me just urge you that if you have questions that have such depth, you might want to take the course in which I teach all the protocols all around that and how to use them. Now, having said that, I've also written about delivery and labor and stalling. I don't know if it was on the blog, but I've written for the Weston Price Foundation. My 13-year-old dog has a cataract. Use the protocol. Congratulations. Severe. You've received. Here we go. Replying to. You're helping each other. I don't have time to take the course before she delivers. So, you might want to just look online. It's very simple. And you don't have to take the whole course just to get to that information. It's all pretty clear that you can move forward so that you know. I mean, you could get it tonight and know it by tomorrow morning. So, yeah, I love Weston Price too. What remedies would help with the actinic keratosis? Well, I've not written about that on the blog. Certainly in the skin course, there's no doubt about that. Friend with seizures after cancer treatment. Too broad, my friend. I'm sorry. That's just, what does that mean? Cancer treatment. Does that mean radiation? Does it mean drugs? All right. Actinic keratosis. I know it's in the skin course. Hello, Joette. I'm a newbie. What can I give my husband for his hallucinations due to Alzheimer's dementia? He's almost blind from glaucoma as well, but the hallucinations are getting worse. Well, the first thing that I think about is make sure that the diet is ketogenic of sorts. Make it clean. Lamb, beef, eggs, butter. Those are the kinds of foods. Stay away from the sweets and the carbs as much as possible. And that is specifically in the mindful course. I know that you want what's the protocol for. Some of you are asking that, and when I can direct you, I want to do that, but it's not always as simple as this is the condition, is the protocol. Sometimes often it works that way, and that's the way it works, especially when we're treating acute conditions. But when we're talking more chronic conditions, there's more involved than that, and you have to be able to differentiate between this protocol and that depending on how it's presenting. I'm using the Banerjee protocol for multiple myeloma. There are people who have been cured by doing this. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's why I spent all those years in India with the Banerjee. My oncologist says it cannot be cured. No, what he means is he cannot cure it. And I'm not telling you that you should put all your eggs in that basket. I'm not telling you that it's an absolute. We don't know. There are no absolutes in any human health or any protocol. We do the best we can. As the Banerjees say, that when we use these protocols in 80 to 85% of the cases that are using this particular protocol for this particular condition, it acts. The remedy acts. So that leaves about 15 to 20% remaining. If there's a second protocol, we go to the second protocol, and that covers another 10%. So now we're at about 90%. And that those are very high numbers. But it's not 100%, my friends. Yep, not 100%. I've written about asthma a number of times. For those of you who haven't checked my blog, I would hate to see you waste good questions tonight when you could just look at it on the blog. Joette Calabrese asthma, Joette Calabrese warts. Can cell salts be used along with other homeopathics on the same day? Yes, they can. Let's see what else we've got here. Remedies for eyelid twitching often affects the side of the mouth, also happening more and more. We would also want to look at what's causing this. Is this ever since a dental condition? Is it ever since starting that new drug? Is it ever since starting those supplements? Often we see, and I'm going to tell you that's not just for the twitching, but I want you all to think about this. Many times people come to me and they say, this is what's happening. My first question is, what are you taking? More often than not, the cause of conditions in human suffering has something to do with extrinsic. Bad water, unclean, unsanitary area. We don't have that in this country, in North America. But that was the cause of many of the other diseases that were rampant throughout the centuries. But we can have bad water, fluoride, chlorine, pesticides, etc. Drugs and procedures can cause conditions. Not getting enough sunshine, not walking on the grass barefoot. Those are getting good sleep, eating food that you make. You make the food. You get the lamb chop and put it on the grill. You get the eggs and fry them in the butter. That's where we get our best health. And it will be slow, but it often adds great value to someone's life. Sunshine, my friends, without lotion, without tanning lotion, without sunscreen. If any of you are my age, you remember when there was no such thing as sunscreen. Just take the sun with prudence. Just be intelligent about how much you get, and you will not have trouble. The sun is not our enemy. Okay. Let's see. People are replying. My children had ringworm, and I treated them until the ringworm was better. But they were left with rough spots on the skin where the infections were. What am I missing? What you're probably missing is that you need to carry on with the condition, with the remedies, with the remedy you used further. Go further. You haven't finished. It's potentially. I don't know that for sure, but my first guess would be that. Okay. I love to see everybody else helping. I have bunions and take Symphytum for an ankle injury and hip pain, and it has helped the bunion discomfort too. You are so right, Alice. Absolutely. Nice job. Nice job. What do you use the best gum recession? I've written about that on my blog. There's some good ones. Do you find constitutional remedies very helpful when treating people and conditions? I'm not very familiar with them and love your BJs, but someone was asking about someone's constitutional remedy in my family. I don't use constitutional remedies. I'm not saying I never do. Sometimes it's clear to me that it's a specific medicine that would help with a number of conditions, but I don't spend time on it. I go directly to the condition and the symptoms, generally speaking. So using a constitutional or a medicine is very time consuming, and not only as you're taking the case, but it takes years to figure it out. So my friends, that's what this is. This is the relief from that way of thinking. When taking aconitum, bryonia, at the first sign of a cold, and it doesn't stop it in its tracks, do you keep taking it or switch to symptoms based on remedies? Yes, I would move on. I would use it for a while, an hour or two, every 15 minutes for the first hour. And then after that, maybe every hour after that, you still don't see any improvement. Now, remember, my friends, we're looking for all kinds of improvements. We're not looking for just, the cold is better. We're looking for, I have a little more energy, or I slept better. That tells us that it's acting. Something's improving. So we have to assume that it could be the medicine that's acting. Let's see. People are really helping each other. It's just lovely to see. I love it. Lots of my graduates here. Lots of folks here who have taken just my classes, not just in the academy, but classes. Helping each other. Is there a good reference book that recommends which potencies of remedies have affinities to which systems? The way you look that up is you go to your repertory and you look under joints, and you will see that medicine that shows up in joints on all the joints shows up over and over and over again. You will see if you look under liver, you will see, and that, for example, that might be symphytum or rhus tox or arnica. And then maybe you go to the liver section, you want to know has the affinity, what medicine has an affinity to the liver. And you'll see nux vomica, chelidonium, Cardus marianus. That's how you'll see them over and over again in bold, and that's how you know. Now, potency, that's where I teach it in my courses. That's what I teach in the courses. Exactly what remedy and potency can be used for a specific condition. But I also teach it on my blog. Okay. Any new classes in the works? We're doing so many things. We've got a lot of ideas. We're going to get the podcast back up again. But I will let you know as soon as there are classes, a new class with a new subject. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Helping each other. Anything to help prevent sunburn other than Sol for my red head. Sol is hard to find. No, go directly to Helios, my friend. Heather, go to Helios in England. And don't think for a minute that makes a difference in terms of time it gets to you. They're super quick. Can we also use remedies for dogs? Absolutely. You can use remedies for dogs and goats and chickens and cats and camels and cows. I use homeopathy for my garden. Hammer toe. Somebody's going to have an idea here. That is a tendon that has gone awry. So what's the remedy for tendons that have gone awry, that have become too tight or too loose or distorted? What's the remedy? Let's see what you come up with, my friends. Let's see. My 9-year-old son has monthly reoccurrence of red-tipped tongue. Could this be yeast? If it doesn't burn, it doesn't hurt him, he's eating fine, it doesn't bother him, I wouldn't give it a thought. I would just call it probably something to do with the cleansing through his tongue. Tongue is a great place to cleanse. I don't think I would give it now, if it's painful, it's burning, it's prickling, it's keeping him from being able to eat, okay, now we treat it. We don't use symptoms that are really not very noteworthy. We don't treat those. Daughter is taking antimonium crude 6 for warts. She is getting tetanus shot tomorrow. Can I switch to Thuya? Too bad you don't have my course called Survivalist Guide to Homeopathy. Would you use silica if you? I'm not gonna. I don't know what. I'm kind of dumbfounded by that statement. So I Let me think about it for a minute. Would you use silica if you have hip joint replacement? I think what you're asking is if there is a screw that's used. You're worried about it being pushed out. I don't know why you would use silica if you're having a hip joint replacement. Maybe you're using silica for another reason. But silica, people worry so much about that remedy. And I find, first of all, it's not even that commonly used. It really isn't that common. So, but if you use a medicine and it causes trouble, you'll know, like that. You'll know it's wrong. If you start feeling something, you say, okay, I'm going to stop, and that's the end of it. Have you ever treated OCD successfully? All the time, my dear, all the time. Mindful homeopathy, super common condition. Also, I have to tell you, watch the diet. Watch what's extrinsic coming in. What is that person being exposed to? When a remedy is acted after the first dose in the past, like a headache, and then it doesn't act after the first dose the next time, can you abandon that 4-dose rule? You bet, Carrie. Good question. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to go back to that question about getting the shot tomorrow. I would certainly think about Thuya. Yes. And I'm not telling you what you should do, but you should think about Thuya. Yes. Thank you so much for providing these Q&A sessions. Very informative, and thank you. I'm glad you like it. How do you feel about bioplasma? I like it, but we don't use it just because. Bioplasma is a kind of we use it only when it's truly needed, when it's perfectly clear that there are all 12 cell salts that are pretty much truly needed. So I don't use it willy-nilly. Once you said that you gave aconitum 200 to someone who was having a stroke or a heart attack on the way to the hospital, wondering if it helps to calm you down and aconite helped to stop the stroke. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was my mother and my father. My mother had the stroke. My father had a cardiac arrest. Yes, they worked almost, for my mother, it was within seconds. For my father, it took about 10 minutes. Okay, you bet. Replying, okay. People are talking to each other. It's so great. You're helping each other. Ruta tendons, Tammy. You got it. Ruta tendons. Ruta. Ruta is for tendons. Ruta, says Cindy. Katie says Ruta, remember? Roostox. Roostox can be useful, Richard, if there is pain associated with it. Not all hammer toe problems have pain. It can be just a distortion of the tendon. Arnica, maybe, I'm not so sure. Ruta. And there's one other remedy I would seriously think of. Anyone else have any other ideas of what else it could be? Besides Ruta? Kelp flora, that's certainly possible. It burns, it hurts, says Tammy. It burns. So we need a remedy burning pain. I think that's what she's saying, is for the burning pain for the hammer toe. I would still consider Ruta. Still consider it. Kelp flora. I use kelp flora, says Manda, and Ruta for tendons. You bet. How about infected ingrown nail? I've written about that. I'm almost positive that's on my blog. Almost positive. Tammy, lead 'em. Thank you, Tammy. Symphytum. Thank you, Lois. Symphytum and Roostox. I would use Ruta and Symphytum for that. What can we use for a sprained foot? Sprains, my friends. Boy, we've been talking about it. Tendonitis and sprains. Yes. If you go to my blog, Joette Calabrese, I wrote about Buster, my dog, when he sprained his, what was it? It was a tendon. I don't remember where. Let's see what else we've got. James Compton Burnett. Diane's talking about one of my favorite doctors in the whole world. Carpal tunnel. Written about it. Just do Joette Calabrese, carpal tunnel. Chronic bad breath. Halitosis. We have to know, my friend, is that because there's an infection in the mandible or the maxillary? Is there an abscess? Is it a deeper infection that could be from a root canal or a tooth that was extracted, and now there's an infection that has embedded in the bone? You want to find that out. Or is it from the gut? Is it coming from the gut? Has it something to do with what's going on, what's being eaten, and how the stomach is acting? And how do we know which it is? You start asking questions about each of those two areas. If the person has a root canal or a tooth that was extracted and there was an infection, or maybe you didn't even know there was, we don't know. Let me tell you, you can have an infection in your jaw or in the maxillary for decades and not know, and there can be an odor that is emitted. So you want to check that out. You want to make sure that's probably one of the most important aspects of this. If you've already done that and you've gone that far and you really know, in other words, you're not suspicious, because even x-rays from a dentist will not reveal whether or not there is an infection in the mandible or the maxillary, because most dentists, excuse me for saying this, my friends, but most dentists, unless they're biological dentists, do not know how to find an infection in the bone. They do not know they don't recognize it. The word is cavitations, and that can be very severe, but stealth. You don't even know. All right, people are helping. Sprained foot. Do you worry about putting dogs under anesthesia for dentals? I worry about putting anybody under anesthesia. You bet I do. Absolutely. It affects the central nervous system and the brain. So make sure it's really, really necessary that the dog get this done. If it's speaking of dental, if it's a serious dental infection and a tooth has to be extracted, I get it. I totally understand. But if it's just to clean the teeth, I would not do it. Do they have a termite shot? I got asthma within a month of taking the shot. Termite shot? Sorry, I don't know what you mean. Silica works great to expel splinters even under the fingernail. Look at how you're helping each other. You folks are amazing. I have to tell you, we're already 4 minutes over. I don't have a class tonight, so I'll stay with you for another couple of minutes, because I'm so impressed with your answers, and I'm impressed with your desire to help each other. This is exactly what I want. Detoxing. How would we, and mercury. I have an entire course on that. It depends on how it's presenting, my friend. Go to Joette's Learning Center and go to the course called You're Toxic, I'm Toxic, we're all toxic. So go to Joette's Learning Center and scroll down and find that course, because it depends on what you mean by toxicity, what's presenting, what's happening, and then you use the medicines accordingly. My granddog has a mass on one side of his body that got bigger over the last year. It has fluid in it. The doctor wants to drain it. Is there a homeopathic remedy that can help with this? It depends on, is this an infection? Is it a lipoma? We have to know what it is. It's just, you're calling it a mass, but the vet will know what it's called, and then you go use it accordingly. I use bioplasma when my oxygen levels go down. Beautiful. Love it. I'm so glad that that's been useful for you. Bioplasma for when you have fever to replace electrolytes. I have done that, Richard. Absolutely. I have done that. Yes. Yes. What would you use for arms and legs that regularly get tingling and numb? You know what I would do, my friend? I would get to a chiropractor or a physical therapist. It's probably something that's just misaligned on some level. I think you want a chiropractor or a physical therapist on your team. They're excellent for diagnostics, and they're excellent for dealing with things just like that, and much more. Oh, okay. People are helping each other. Causticum, hypericum. I gave my husband Rustax 200 and antimonium crude 6 alternating with hypericum perf 200 for pain and itching. He also took Valtrex, but avoided the steroids. He did not need any other pain relief, but it was rough on him for 10 days. I'm assuming that you're talking about a herpes infection. Hi, everyone. Don't forget to like, comment. Yes, thank you. Belladonna for ingrown nail and silica work beautifully for hubs. Oh my gosh, you're so great. So I do have to dash off now. I'm going to go. And I'm going to leave you all to your discussion for as long as I don't know how long this will last, but enjoy, my friends. I just want to tell you, I want this for you. I want a life less ordinary for you. I want it less ordinary for me. I want it less ordinary for you. This is the medicine. These are the skills. This way of life is the skeleton of a good life. This is what we can hang our flesh on. Having this information, knowing how to use it, and owning the medicines. And so, just for that, stay curious, my friends. Bye now. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa no dairy, it's elementary with arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the REMs, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calicum, bonicum, let it melt on your gum, bovies to wheat are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa no dairy, it's elementary with arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family needs me, so I improve my memory. Not only the REMs, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and arnica head, drosera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calicum, bonicum, let it melt on your gum, bovies to wheat are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa no dairy, it's elementary with arnica head, arsenicum fed, spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more. My family on needs of me, so I improve my memory. Not only the REMs, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, and learn your remedies. Belisol red and arnica hydrocera bark, ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, calica bonicum, let it melt on your gumbo, vista weed are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies.